one, and we are live. Coach Kelsey, how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So thanks for joining us again. This is episode number 2 of Cory's Conversations podcast. I'm joined by my good friend and colleague, Kelsea Meyers, who is an Orangetheory fitness coach up at the Lake Tap studio here in Washington State. We're currently in a government-mandated shutdown, and so we are trying to find things to fill our time. And so this is what came of me having spare time, is starting a little podcast here. And I want to talk to some interesting people. And, Kelsea is somebody who's really inspired me from just the fitness side of things. I think she really, and I'm going to brag about you for a quick second here, Kelsea. She really just completely identifies with what an Orangetheory coach should be and really embodies that role. She cares so much about her coaches and her members and just the community that she's created. It's really inspiring and remarkable what she's done up at that studio. And all you need to know about that is her members are asking to continue to pay their membership dues, even though they can't come into the club, so that they can take care of her and her staff. And so that just speaks volumes to the things that, you do and you created for that community. So, okay, I'm done bragging about you now. Now I'm going to rag on you for the next 45 minutes. But so how's everything going? Your day 3 quarantine right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. My fiance is also working from home, so he has a nice little setup at our kitchen table. We haven't killed each other yet, so we're going strong. But yeah, our cats are kind of confused why we're here all the time, but other than that, so far so good. I haven't gone crazy yet.
I was telling my friend yesterday on the first episode of the podcast, it's just great. This is a tragedy, obviously, and it's terrible and people are dying and things like that. But, I always try and see the light side of things. And there's been some just great comedic content that has come out of this. And one that I saw was, if you're working at home with your spouse, you need to make up a coworker that you can blame things on. So like Stacy's always leaving water cups around the house. Gosh, damn it, Stacy. But
I told Kaden that. He wasn't very intrigued by it. He was just like, that's dumb. Okay. So I'm just going to name my coworker Kaden.
Yeah, there you go. And then other people there, I think, it may have been on your group, and maybe it was the Lakeland Hills group that said you need to post something about your kids and name them your coworkers. And so like my coworkers are drawing all over the walls.
They're just terrible. They're not very good coworkers there.
Yeah, it's like, what do we do with these coaches now? I mean, we've got, you and I are part of a number of Orangetheory coaches groups across Facebook and other platforms and stuff. And, we're seeing what they're trying to do. You and I are filing for unemployment right now, and we're, our owners are taking care of us with some sick time and vacation time and stuff like that. So, appreciate that from them. But we're trying to find things to do. And, I don't know if you saw the one coach's video of the gal that was doing a 3-hour nap. She was queuing up a 3-hour nap. I don't know. I'm going to post this on the coach's page, but I'll look up your name. But I got a solid laugh out of that, belly laugh for probably a good 30, 45 seconds. So thank you for that, whoever you are.
Yeah. I also saw one I think this morning, there was a girl who posted one of I'm going to try to find it, but she made a mic out of aluminum foil. So I like that activity. Shout out to whoever did that as well when you see this.
Yeah. I mean, coaches, there's one thing about us Orangetheory coaches. We are creative and we will find ways to entertain any way that we can. When we're hiring coaches, and we always say, yeah, you got to be 25, 30% knowledgeable, and then you have to be 75% an entertainer and just a little crazy personality. You have to have some kind of weird tick to you, and I think we all do. So
no normalcy allowed here.
No normalcy. Cool. So I know hopefully a lot of your members are going to see this, and, I'll try and get that in front of them. But I know you've been communicating with them, and again, it speaks to you, just your character and how much you care about them. You're not getting compensated to do this, and you're still trying to keep people motivated. I think I saw you posting some, mobile workouts and some at-home workouts for them. And so is there anything you wanted to say to them, keep them motivated, and how you're processing this and how you want them to process this as well?
Yeah. Well, I guess I could use yesterday as an example. It was only day 2. And we went out for a walk, and during the walk, I was like, I don't know if I really want to work out today. And then I was like, I told the members I was going to post videos every day of workouts. And so then I got home and I was like, I have to do it because I told them I was going to. So I guess I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for holding me accountable to actually working out. Believe it or not, coaches too have to get motivation to work out, even day 2. I think it's just sitting around all day. It makes you not want to work out. And I'm a total morning person workout, but I haven't been doing it in the morning. So trying to do it in the afternoon is a little bit of a struggle because I've been trying to do it outside and I don't want to do it in the 30-degree weather. So once it warms up in the afternoons, I've been doing it. But I think it's just been really cool testament to our members at Lake Taps, how big of a community it is. Everybody's been posting every day, lots of posts just about things they're doing to get outside and or just get a workout in at home. And it was really cool just seeing the members band together and say that they were willing to still pay for our memberships, like you were mentioning earlier, pay for their memberships to help pay us. And it doesn't go unnoticed. It's a really cool testament to the kind of people we have up there. And I know other studios have been doing the same thing. So it's really appreciated. And I'm counting down the days till we can get back into the studio for sure. But in the meantime, it's cool to see from afar what people are doing. So don't lose that. I know it's only a few days in, but don't lose that excitement that you have. And I guess the community we have of just continuing to rally together, but even if it's from afar, continue that because it's really cool to see from us coaches just, and I'm sure the members too, seeing what other people are doing. So keep that up. Don't lose it throughout these next weeks, months, hopefully weeks.
Yeah, well said, Kelsey. And yeah, just to shout out to other studios. I've coached up at Lake Taps a few times, and that's a great community and great group of people. But even to our other studios that we have out in Tacoma, University Place, Gig Harbor, Olympia, Puyallup, great communities all around the board. And like you said, it's not just that group. It's all of our members have been trying to reach out, and they know what's going on. They're impacted. Our staff is impacted, but everybody's, I was saying yesterday, everybody's kind of trying to make the best of this. And, with tragedy and unfortunate circumstances, you do fortunately get to see some good things come out of it. And you get to see the lighter side of people that, maybe you wouldn't have seen otherwise, and people rally together and support one another. And so, yeah, shout out to just the Orangetheory community and coaches across the country, across the world. If you're listening to this, shout out to you guys too. Keep motivating your members. Keep yourself motivated. Find productive ways to spend your time. I don't know if this is productive or not, but this is all I could come up with. And so I'm going to try and go for a run later and try and get outside and do some stuff. But yeah, like you said, working out indoors for so long, you get used to that nice free motion tread. You get those knees are feeling good. I went for about a 6-mile run yesterday. I'm training for a marathon, and boy, my knees were hurting yesterday coming off of pounding the pavement. So yeah, shout out to the Orangetheory and the Orangetheory corporate team as well. They've done a good job of communicating out to our members and trying to take care of them with some at-home workouts and some online platforms. So good for them. So cool. Well, I had a couple things that I just wanted to talk to you about. Orangetheory and coaching was definitely one of them, but maybe just what's for people that don't know, how did you get into coaching at Orangetheory and just fitness in general, and what made you want to take that as a career path?
Yeah. So fitness specifically, when I was in college, my sophomore year of college, I ended up, well, I always knew I wanted to be involved because in somehow fitness, I always thought it was physical therapy. And then I hate feet, so that wasn't going to work out. And so I tore my ACL my sophomore year of college, played college volleyball, and being out for a while, I was able to actually train my team in the off season just with captain's workouts. And I wasn't able to do them, but it just was a good feeling being able to help the team out. And so I kind of just developed a love for fitness that way. And so along the lines, I became a personal trainer right out of college, I guess a few months out of college. And I didn't necessarily like the selling points of it. I'm not a salesperson. I just want to do the fitness side of it. And so that was kind of rough for me. And then I kind of tried to dabble in strength and conditioning with athletes. And then two ways I kind of came upon Orangetheory. One was a, a gentleman at my old gym. He was actually ended up being Stevie's dad. And he told me about it. And so Small World ended up kind of working with Stevie along the way in Orangetheory. But he was like, you got to start working there. And I believe it was Issaquah that he was telling me about. And then Puyallup ended up opening shortly after. And then another lady was talking about how her son coached for Orangetheory, and she was trying to set me up with him, but I was so two different weird ways that I came upon Orangetheory, and then it ended up opening in Puyallup, and it was everything I could hope for and more. And then kind of just grew into the role in Lake Taps after coaching at Puyallup for about 6 months. And so just been really cool to see not only myself grow, but also everyone that I know that started at Orangetheory. And just over the past year and a half now, it's been really cool and a really great experience, and everything I could hope for in a job, really, just being a coach and also a head coach that dealing with like business side of things, but also getting to coach till it's the best of both worlds. So
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, shout out to Stevie Scott
yes.
for sending us the, one of our best head coaches we got. Yeah, I've been in fitness, all my career for 10 plus years now, and I was a pretty similar track going physical therapy type thing, but always wanted to be in the performance training side of it and just working with the people and more on the preventative side. And so how do I keep people healthy before they have to go see a physical therapist? Obviously things happen, you get injured, but how do I keep people healthy and active and moving to where they're less likely or less inclined to have to go to seek recovery? And so Orangetheory has been, I started out in kind of a big group training setting in a startup gym in Spokane, and then moved over to the west side here once my wife got a job here and we both graduated from Gonzaga, and got going in personal training. But once I found Orangetheory, it was the perfect kind of amalgamation of everything that I love about fitness. It's got the group setting that holds you accountable. It's got the programmed workouts that you can do all across the country. And you're going to get the same great workout at any studio you walk into. It's got the great people. I mean, you have to have great people. That's the whole key to this. The workouts are great and they're fantastic. But I think if you ask any of our members, that have been going to Orangetheory for 2, 3, 4 months, they can probably do a workout on their own now. Mm-hmm. They know enough. They know how to do lunges. They know how to run on the treadmill. They know how to, but having Coach Skylar laughing and goofing off with you and motivating you in weird ways that you never thought would motivate you. And having that variety of coaches too, you've got kind of the, more of your drill instructor type coaches. You got more of your kind of, compassionate coaches. And then you've got a weird mix. Where do you think you fall in that category of what's your coaching style?
It depends on the time of day. I always thought I was just fun. And then I had somebody tell me the reason they like coming to 5 a.m. is because I'm just serious and straight to the point. But then I think since I'm so used to getting up early, I think once I've woken up enough, if I do the afternoon classes, I get to that like Skylar loopiness, like kind of goofy. But I feel like I'm more in my element at 5 a.m. when I'm coaching. I think because I can give the information, provide it, but in like a structured way. I don't want to be serious, but if you try to joke at 5 a.m., they don't normally laugh. So
yeah, I'm definitely, I always try so I'm an aspiring stand-up comedian that I haven't done anything about yet. But I'm always trying to make people laugh. And I started opening for you when you lost your voice. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, hopefully, but I started opening and I tried to be funny. And get the people going in the morning, and you'd get a couple half smirks, you get a couple eye rolls, like, what is this big, tall, goofy guy doing, trying to make me laugh? And I woke up 8 minutes ago and barely got in at 4 minutes after class. I don't have deodorant on, my hair's a mess. So yeah, you kind of have to find the time to be funny. And I found that 5 a.m. ain't it.
They like if you joke with them individually. So I've learned that. I get my personal touches in joking with my 5 a.m. crew, which hashtag now, like Taps 5 a.m. crew. And I mean, it is it is an awesome time to coach, just not the time to make jokes over them.
Yeah, maybe I didn't have the rapport built up yet. I think maybe after I've coached a few classes,
Yeah.
they started to warm up to me a little bit and they understood my sense of humor, but you've obviously been with them for longer. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting, a point talking about kind of the coaching styles too, because I've talked to other, and not to throw our male coaches under the bus, but I think at least in our region, our female coaches are some of our best coaches. Sorry, Scott. Sorry, Jay. You guys are great coaches, but you look at people like you, Coach Natalie, Coach Chandler, Coach Kate. I'm going to stop naming because I'll forget. It's Coach Kat. I prefer personally to work out with you guys, and you guys get me going. But is there anything different, at least in your experience, or struggles that you've faced with, because I was just talking to a few other folks, and being a woman in fitness and being a strong woman and somebody who demands respect like that in that drill instructor type of coaching style. Some people struggled with that, and they were finding that members would, maybe not members, but in other industry or other types of fitness, wouldn't get that respect that they deserve. Is there can you speak to being just a strong woman in fitness?
Yeah, a few things with that is you'll have that. I mean, I will say that most of the males I've dealt with have been very awesome. There's a few every now and then that you'll tell them something and they kind of just scoff at you. Or like when Caden takes my classes, I'll give him a challenge or like tell him to do something and he just rolls his eyes at me. But that's just for different reasons. Yeah, but. No, I think that for the most part there's support, but you do run into a few people who kind of, and I'm not saying that they're looking down upon me that I know less because I am a female, but maybe just like almost like a pride thing, like, oh no, she's telling me I'm doing something wrong as a female, like, and I'm supposed to be a strong male or whatever it is. But for the most part I think it's good. I think one other thing I run into is that I have muscles. And so I think some females always think like, oh, I just want to be tiny, and I don't think I can take advice from somebody who is strong. And so I think that that's kind of one other thing I run into is like when I tell people that if they want to be toned, you gotta lift heavier. And I think then they look at my shoulders and they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And so I think that's also one thing I run into. But for the most part, I think that I've, at least at Lake Taps, developed, and at Puyallup too, I think I developed a lot of respect from members. So I really don't. It's just that once in a while situation. But for the most part, I think people have been very responsive and respectful towards me. And I hope that that's the case for other females in the nation. I think it's the case up here, at least, is like you were saying, our female coaches are rock stars up here. And
Sure.
Like you put me in a class with Coach Natalie and I'm going to hit a PR every time. So shout out to Natalie, because I have multiple times taking her classes. And all the female coaches that I've taken classes from are just awesome. Males too. But we have a rock star staff group. And I hope that the females around the nation also see the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting talking about like the the body image type stuff of females, and obviously I can't speak to that a ton, but I've been in the industry long enough that it seems like there is a bit of a shift happening too, where people are starting to accept more. Women want to be strong, they want to lift weights, and it's going away from in the 80s it was step aerobics and all this jazzercise kind of stuff, and now you see how things change every 5-10 years in fitness, and now you've seen a lot of women wanting to do deadlifts, wanting to lift heavy, wanting to be strong. And it's really cool to see. And hopefully it continues. And, to your point, you nailed it right on the head. If you want to be toned, you want to be strong, you got to lift heavy weights, and you got to, you got to push yourself. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, maybe going more to your voice. I'll kind of preface a little bit. You had some struggles with losing your voice for coaching, and if the listeners know anything about Orangetheory coach, typically coach anywhere from 3 to 4 to sometimes even 5 classes in a row for hour-long classes, and you're on a mic. But if you are doing it well and doing it right, you are at the top of your register, and you are you're speaking loudly and getting those people motivated. And, you ran into a circumstance where you started to lose your voice and had to take some time off. So maybe you can just tell the folks a little bit about your experience with that and how you coped with it and how you, how you battled back.
Yeah. So I guess it would have been June of last year, June of 2019. One of my coaches was on vacation for a while. And so I ended up covering a bulk of his classes, which I was happy about. I wanted extra classes going into the summer, especially, and that I was going to be taking time off. So, and then a few other coaches were leaving. So I was just covering a ton. I think I ended up coaching 42 classes in a 2-week period, which I normally only do 29 or did. And so I was coaching pretty much 3 weeks worth in 2 weeks and ended up getting a little hoarseness in my voice. Didn't think much of it. Went on vacation, came back, and it was perfectly fine. So for a month or so it was fine. Then I started losing it. I was going in and out from like September to basically till I took time off in January and February. I went to the doctor and then went to an ENT that scoped which very uncomfortable. He like puts this weird mint, I forget what he said it was, but it basically numbs your nostrils, and he had to put a scope in to see my vocal cords, and I developed nodes, singer's nodules, which everybody has nodes, they're just not inflamed. So basically in my cords, there was bumps that were, when I would talk, limit the amount of air that could get through. And at first I wasn't really concerned. I was like, well, they're just growths. It's not like my vocal cords are damaged. It's going to be fine. And then reading more into it, if you don't take care of them, you can end up getting scar tissue and just permanent damage where you could be talking hoarse for the rest of your life, and potentially get vocal paralysis. So that part scared me. I want to be able to use my voice for the rest of my life. And I know other coaches that have dealt with it and just kind of brushed it off. One of my coaches is actually developing it now as well. I could talk about that later. But so basically I had to go to a vocal coach, and people are like, well, you just have to learn to talk from your diaphragm. And really that isn't really it is a great thing to learn to talk through your diaphragm. I actually haven't even learned how to do that, more so just learning how to strengthen vocal cords. So she took me through a bulk of different exercises that I still try to do every day. I usually do it in the car. I have a straw where I just breathe through it. So you breathe as long as you can out through a straw. And then you do like a siren sound through the straw. So bringing your pitch up and down. And then breathing out at a normal tone, and then going up to a high pitch, normal tone, low pitch. So different weird things, sticking your tongue out and like stretching your tongue, because it actually is going through your throat as well.
So the Gene Simmons exercise. Yeah, that's
fun when someone's driving next to you and you do it and they give you a weird look.
And I think I was talking to you about it too, and she was your vocal coach, he or she, I don't know if you specified, but was telling you that certain syllables and certain letters, so A's and O's and those kind of hard sounds, and Orangetheory coaches use a lot of A's, and all outs, and so that was something that she said to try to avoid, or at least be conscious of.
Yeah, nouns are really vowels are really tough on your vocal cords. They're very harsh. And so, and then M, if you say M, you're supposed to kind of like mom. So get like a vibration in your throat. It's weird because I'm not going to be like med ball exercises. I'm not going to say that, but
start rolling your R's and doing all sorts of fun stuff.
What's happening? And then she actually said, when you do an all out, to make sure that, and I made sure to ask this because all out is very rough on your cords. And I told her I extend it. So it's like an all out, like she said, that's actually very good for it because you're extending it versus making it very rash all of a sudden.
And sharp. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's been weird, making up my way back in. Cause I took 10 days off to start, came back, and it was like I coached 7 classes within 2 days and it was out again. And so I took a month off. I was actually ended up closer to 5 weeks, and it's been good ever since. I've been limiting how many classes I was teaching. Cause at some points when I was coaching, I was doing like 6 in a day when I was covering. And then the 4 times per day I've noticed has also been rough. So I went down to 3 or even 2 in a row, and I've noticed that's been a lot better. And I have another coach going through the same thing. He coaches, I think, like 18 a week right now. And so I guess in a bittersweet type of way, this whole entire thing going on with coronavirus is good for him to take a break. And I mean, see if he can rest and do the exercises. And I mean, I recommend anybody, even if they don't have developing nodes yet, to just look up exercises you can do, or the things I mentioned earlier. Just try any way you can to strengthen your vocal cords. It doesn't hurt to go to a voice coach if it's included in insurance that you have. She even recommended, like, even if you don't have problems, you can still see a voice coach to learn how to properly use your vocal cords, and strengthen them too. So any Orangetheory coach or any person out there who coaches a lot or talks a lot, teaches a lot, anything really that requires a lot of voice, definitely look into it.
Yeah, that's definitely scary. I mean, the prospect of the vocal paralysis is definitely scary. But I'm sure I'll ask the question that I think everybody wants to know. Is it like Pitch Perfect, and can you hit that super deep note now?
Everybody kept asking me that. No. And people asked if I was a good singer because I had a raspy voice. No. No. It's
Yeah,
work.
you got that good deep. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, I wish I could, but
man. Well, cool. Well, we're glad you're back to recovered, and you sound great, and so I'm sure the members love having you back. So you've been going through a lot of kind of personal life changes, from what I understand. You guys bought a house, and let me give you a little piece of advice, Caden, since I know you're listening in the background. When you only get a select number of eye rolls, I've been married, gosh, I should know this, 7 years. Oh gosh, I'm already in trouble, so you're fine. You only get a select number of eye rolls per year that you can get away with before she will bury you in the backyard. So just keep
now
that
we're
in
together
mind.
all the time, so that's not
Yeah.
good. We
But you're
just
not married yet, so use them up now while you're planning for a wedding. So you guys are planning for a wedding. Congratulations, by the way. You guys are engaged, and how scary is it now with like the uncertainty of, I'm trying to think about people that, what if they were getting married next weekend and they had catering plans and guests coming. You can't host that event now, at least in Washington State, with the governor's mandate.
Yeah, I do have a really close friend from college who's getting married the first weekend of May. And so she's gone through a lot of, we had like 10 weddings between ours and friends and family this year. So we'll see how those pan out. Lots of bachelorette parties, bridal showers, all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Right now, we're not nervous about ours, but I do feel for my good friend who probably either has to postpone or most likely just cut down the people that are coming. But being that pretty much everything is getting canceled now, regardless if it's 50 or less, I don't know what exactly that'll happen there. And I mean, our catering is through a small, not small, they're in Pike's Place. It's a taco Mexican restaurant. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm hoping the small businesses can stay in business, and especially selfishly, that one specifically. Honestly, most of our wedding planning took the back burner because we bought a house and then we were just doing home projects. And then by the time that was done, coronavirus came. So we honestly, I mean, we got like a brief 1 week where we kind of did everything, did a lot of stuff and got a lot of stuff done. But we got our invites yesterday. So we'll see if we can send those out, or if we need a Sharpie and a different date.
Yeah.
But yeah, for right now, we're not super nervous. It's in mid-August, so we're more nervous about like bachelor and bachelorette parties where we've paid airfare to go in June. But I mean, part of me is like, well, if my flight gets canceled, I'm just gonna drive to my grandparents' house in Palm Springs and party it up anyways.
There you
Whether
go.
it's by myself or not, I think it's just gonna happen.
Do a
But yeah,
virtual party.
yeah, it'll be fine. We'll
Just conference
zoom in.
in.
Yeah,
Everybody can take drinks.
it'll be
Be
great.
fine.
Yeah, but I think it is a little nerve-wracking. But our venue did message us, just reassuring us that nothing has changed, and hopefully it'll be all good. My dad offered up their back patio. They have a farm. Their neighbors have a farm in the background, and there's like a little pony that runs by. We call it Little Sebastian from Parks and Rec. So he
Oh,
said Little
great.
Sebastian could run by as we do our vows if we don't have a venue. So we have some backup plans, but it is a bit nerve-wracking.
What a tall order of having to trim. I mean, if setting your invitation list wasn't hard enough already, now you already sent out invitations, and if you had a wedding this weekend, you're having to trim. That's worse than trying to trim your MySpace top 8. I'm
Oh,
dating
yeah.
myself a little bit there, but
Yes. When you get to the point where it's the top one because you can't choose 8,
just
you
the
have to
top
choose one
one.
person. Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, I can't imagine for people that have it in the next few months. I mean, part of us is kind of like trying to joke it off and be like, well, we wanted a small list anyways because things are so expensive. So the more people that drop off the list, the less people we have to pay for. So
it's
it's
a
kind of a
great
blessing.
excuse.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aunt
Yeah.
Kathy, I can't have you attend. It's just this
Yeah.
coronavirus is, the governor told me I can't have you come. So,
And you're older, so you probably just need to stay at home and be safe.
oh no. Oh geez. Well, cool. I mean, I know I've been using this time at home to get a lot of projects done around my house. I'm sure you guys with buying the new place. Do you guys have anything you're working on in the house that now you have the time to spend on it?
Yeah, well, we're supposed to paint all of our moldings. Um, we definitely haven't started that yet. I'll leave that for like week 2 or 3. Um, we bought, well, my aunt's moving out of her house, my great aunt, and then my grandma also has a pressure washer that we might use, but we've got a pressure washer from my great aunt that we're going to try to pressure wash the older fence and then our back patio. They like put in a back patio, but they didn't stain it. So we have to stain it, but we don't want to stain it with the possibility that it rains or
Oh,
freezes.
that's a week's worth of projects right there. You can pressure wash. I mean, I can spend a week pressure washing concrete. I'll go over to the neighbor's house and pressure wash their stuff. It's my OCD just loves pressure washing.
Our driveway is nasty too with all the moss and just I don't think it's ever been pressure washed. So we do have a
Yeah.
lot of projects, but most of them are outside. We want to replace our flooring in here but that's like a long way down the road now. We don't want to pay to refloor our house quite yet now.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of it, unfortunately, we like knocked out everything the first month we lived here. We should have known this was coming and we could have just held off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird times with interest rates are dropping and people. I saw some interesting, it's interesting talking about like how this shutdown and the virus is affecting local businesses, and it's definitely gonna devastate small businesses around. But then I was looking at and talking with my wife last night about some of like the larger companies and looking like Chevrolet, who's now they're running a 0% interest. You can buy a Chevy 1500 at 0% interest for 7 years or something during this time. And you hope that it's coming from a place of helping people and taking care of people and offering solutions, and not from a place of trying to capitalize on something that's it's going to affect the economy, at least locally and if not federally, for a long while. Yeah, interesting just kind of how the marketing strategies go, and it seems like a very easy trap to fall into for some of these companies to really put their foot in their mouth and do something that is going to cause some controversy and outrage. But
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a big scary part for me too, is just the unknown of economy and things. I mean, it's great hearing the government doing their part and helping small businesses and people and the unemployment and all those types of things, but it is also scary just thinking how long it could last and what it could do to the economy in the long term. But we'll see.
yeah, it shows we're not I think the people are great, obviously, like we talked about, and people are taking care of one another, but just our institutions are, I think if anything is going to come of this good, it's going to help us recognize where we were falling short on social programs that needed to be in place and emergency response that needed to be in place. I was watching a TED talk by Bill Gates. I think it was back in 2015, and it's on the money creepy how well he described the next big tragedy isn't going to be terrorism. It isn't going to be this. It's going to be a virus, affluenza, and he almost nailed it right on the head. And he outlined we don't have the the social programs in place to provide assistance to people when we need it. And I know the president is trying to do some some stimulus stuff and get folks some cash. And I think that'll help. But you hope that other big winners of the 21st century economy are going to do the responsible thing too, and are going to take care of their customers and pause payments if they need to. And landlords are going to be, and obviously they're, it's a hard ask for somebody like a landlord, even if I've got friends that own a property and they rent out, they are going to be okay, and they need to take care of their tenant, obviously. And if they can't pay rent because they're out of work, but then that's also the income for my friends that are renting that out as well. And so it's, it's just a big trickle down effect. And so hopefully we all just take care of each other, and hopefully this gets, hopefully people do the responsible thing and stay home. You and I live probably a 5-minute run for you and a 15-minute run for me, away from each other. So, but we chose to do this and stay apart and do the virtual thing. And we think it's the responsible thing to do. So, I think that's smart. And I guess one thing I saw, I guess we can kind of wrap up on this is, I don't like the word social distancing. I know it's kind of been the catchphrase. I think physical distancing is a better word. We're being physical distance, but if you put me socially distant away from people, I'm going to lose it. So stay socially connected, stay physically distant from each other, would be my message. And so lean on your support systems, because this is, this is a time where we need each other, and need to check in on each other and care for each other. Unfortunately, I saw a story the other day that, this guy was asking a police officer, what are you seeing changing with this going on? And without hesitating, he said domestic violence, of people staying home with each other, and that going on. So, I think you're going to start seeing increased rates of, when people are enclosed like this, depression, anxiety, and fear. And so now's the time to really love on one another and make sure that people feel supported and feel communicated to. And luckily we have the platforms like social media. There's a lot of garbage on social media. I think now we have an opportunity to use it as a real tool to keep people motivated and shine some rays of sunshine into people. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I know you're going to do that too, but encourage OTF coaches out there, if you're listening to this, check in on your people, check in on your tribe, and make sure they're doing well, and keep everybody happy and safe until this is over.
100%.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Kelsey, for joining me. Where can people follow you on social media?
On Instagram, Kelsey with an A, KELSEA_Meyers, MEYERS. I also have a fitness page, which I don't normally put it out there. But I'll probably start posting some more at-home workout videos and maybe tips on there. It's at Kelsey_fit. So a few options there. I don't have Twitter because I deleted it. And Facebook, I guess you could friend me there, but I don't really post anything on there. So
cool. Well, follow Kelsey on Instagram. Send her a wedding present that's coming up with her nuptials.
Yeah.
She is our head coach at our Lake Tap studio, and very honored for you to join me, Kelsey. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you, Cory.